So today, guys, we're going to run through setting up our annex. Here are a few components that you should have to help you do so. We have the skirt for the base of our van. We have the floor for the base of the annex. Then we have the door and your two sides. So that'll be your front and your two sides to setting up the annex. Then we have a nice range of poles, which we will show you in the video on how to put them together. We also have the anti-flap kit. There's a good YouTube video on how to put that together, if you don't like reading instructions. We also then have these that you use on the side of the van to then attach part of your annex walls. Next, you'll see a nice video of how to put these items all together.
As part of the annex, you also get the skirt that goes along the bottom of the van. I recommend you put that on all the time though, even when you've got your awning out on a nice sunny day. If you've got a breeze that's coming underneath the van, it helps keep that breeze out. So all the way along, buttons along, there's press studs that are actually located along the van, as well as on the skirt. So they just press stud onto the van all the way through. So the skirt ends up like that. Okay, once you've got your awning out, it's time to put the poles up if you're going to put the annex on. So in the van, you'll have a silver bag like this. There's a variety of poles in there. One of the poles is an upright pole that goes onto the actual awning itself. So in the awning, there's a hole in the rail. The spigot on the end of the pole goes up through the hole in there. Adjust this down till it's firm. And then what attaches to that is what they call a bow rafter pole. What this does, it takes the slack out of the awning itself. So on one end you have an eye fitting, the other end you have a block. So what that does, the eye fitting goes over the spigot on the top of the pole on there, and then this other block section attaches onto the rail of the awning itself, like so. Then you just spread it a little bit, put some tension on, do the clamp up, and that takes that slack out of the awning there. What you also get is a couple of cross braces on the front of the annex. What these do, it attaches onto the front of the van with a hook onto the eye there. It then goes across to the angled pole. And what this does, it holds the annex out on the same shape of the van. So it actually follows down the sail track of the van. So all your cupboards and fridge and everything are all undercover when you put that front wall on. This one takes a little bit of adjustment just to make sure you get your angles right. My tip is when you set it up once, get a texter and mark where they actually go so you know how to put it up next time without having to try and fiddle around with it. And that attaches into another hole in the front of the awning here. Hey guys, time to put the annex on. We've got most of the frame up. There's a couple of really important parts when we're putting the annex up. One is the anti-flap kit that attaches to the awning itself to take the flap out of the awning. So with the anti-flap kit, it comes in 3 sections. It's an Aussie Traveller anti-flap kit. This end here attaches onto the Caravan. Onto the end of the awning. This end here attaches onto the Caravan. I'll show you how that goes on. So what we do, put the end onto the Caravan first. So that bracket goes in like so on the Caravan. And then this end here, it's got a slot in there. So that actually goes up and attaches onto the end of the awning like so. With the anti-flap kit itself, the awning, it tucks onto the anti-flap kit. So what you do there, grab the awning, sandwich that in between there, do up the clamps, and then that now takes that flap out of the awning. So you go onto each 3 sections, put that down there, clip it up, make sure it's nice and firm, just to take that flap away. That drops on, that goes onto there. The important part when you put that on, this is the Velcro that it actually attaches to the wall itself. So put that on first, because once that's on, you can't actually get the, once the anti-flap kit's on, you can't get this onto the anti-flap kit itself. So make sure you put that on first. And then we also have another section which runs up the side of the van. This is what the wall actually Velcros to once the wall goes on. So there's a sail track down on the back of the van. That just sail tracks up into there. Really quite simple. goes up to there, and that just waits until the awning gets, till the wall goes on, and then we Velcro those two parts together. Okay, once you've attached the anti-flap kit, it has the sail track piece on here with Velcro and a zip on here. The same as on the wall, it's got the Velcro and the zip. So what we do, if you're still talking to your wife at this point, grab her to get her to hold the other end. The zip actually attaches on first. So what we do on this end here, we put the zip in, then run your hand along, get her to hold the wall out from the edge, zip it all the way through. Like so, and then all we do is adjust that up so it's right to the very end. And then what we do there, put the awning cord inside, and then we Velcro this wall down the back of the van, like so, all the way down to the bottom. Okay, to attach the walls to the awning itself, there's actually a sail track in here. This is a little rope section. So what we do, we feed that into here, like so. Sail track that along, grab the wife, she can pull that through. Just feed that up nice and gently all the way through until we get to the end there, not a problem. Then we can attach the wall itself. So have it laid out on the ground, it makes it a lot easier. Swap sides. So the same as the back wall, the zip itself now zips onto the Velcro sail track piece. So exactly the same as we did on the back wall. So we put the zip in first, and then all we do is zip it all the way along until we get right to the end, and that wall's now on. Once you've got all the walls on, this is the easy part now. We have Velcro down the back wall, Velcro down the side wall. There's also tabs on the inside which attach to the leg to hold the Annex in place. So all we do, we put that onto there and we Velcro it all the way down to the bottom. We do exactly the same on the front of the Annex, and then the Annex is actually complete.